A.L. Hall is a national bestseller and award-winning author whose gripping storytelling bridges the world of urban fiction, romance, and suspense. With nearly 70 books under her belt, she has carved out a space where readers can immerse themselves in complex relationships, high-stakes drama, and narratives that unfold like cinematic experiences. From her early days navigating self-publishing to mentoring aspiring authors through her book and busy course, Paul's passion for literature has only deepened over time. As she continues to expand her literary empire, including audiobook releases and potential TV adaptation, she remains committed to elevating Black stories and the joy of reading. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting that we are here together. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. All right. So let's jump into these questions I have for you. So, your journey into self publishing started over a decade. What are the most valuable lessons you've learned that have shaped your career in storytelling?
One, you know, fame and recognition and, the fan base, all that stuff does not come overnight. You do have to work for it. Um, it's a lot of hours of not only just the writing and the coming up with the concepts and the character building and the world building, but then after you've written it, then you've got to put it out there. You've got to
Yeah.
market, you've got to talk to people and engage. And it's a whole different world if you're not ready for it. So that's definitely
Yeah.
the things that I learned.
Yes. Many of your books have a thrilling, page-turning quality. What techniques do you use to keep readers engaged from the first page to the last page?
I don't know if it's like techniques, I'd say, but it's, I think one big thing for me is outlining. Before I can have an idea for a story, but if I don't really have the full picture, I don't know how it's going to end. Like, I have to be able to outline it first. And that's not to
Right.
say that things don't change from the outline once I get into the writing process, but that outline is what helps me kind of see, like, okay, where should the plot twist be, or where should,
Right.
we take it up a notch at, or where should we think make them think everything is cool and then switch it up on them. So yeah.
Right. And I know that your stories often feature unexpected twists, like
Yeah.
you're talking about. So, how do you approach that plot development? And do you ever surprise yourself while you're writing?
Yeah. I mean, there's always like little things, right? I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
I always kind of sit there and I'm like, okay, how could I make this worse? Like, that's
Okay.
literally like
Right.
one of the
Right.
questions. Like, what would make this situation worse? And then if we go that way, then how do we kind of fix it and, make everything kind of come together at the end? So yeah, it's a process sometimes. Like I said, it all maybe doesn't always come together in the outline process, but once those characters get to talking and I'm a few chapters in, I might be like,
Okay.
oh, this should be here now and this should
Oh,
be here.
okay. All right. That makes sense. You've written across multiple genres, from urban romance to paranormal and nonfiction. What draws you to explore different storytelling styles?
I just feel like as a storyteller, I don't always have to tell the same types of stories. There's a bunch of different characters that kind of come to me in different genres and just different things that I just may be interested in trying. So I don't like to put myself in a box.
Okay, okay, I got you. So you're a part of Love Publications, right? Which is a collective of Black female authors. Love, love, love that. How has being a part of this literary community influenced your growth and creative process?
B Love is just a powerhouse by herself. I think that she's just an amazing person that does a lot in one body. Yeah. But not only is she just a great, writer herself, but
Mhm.
she is a great mentor. So she gives a lot of, information, and if you need help with brainstorming, you need help with outlining, you just need help getting your life together, like she's gonna be there to kind of be that sounding board, give you that tough love if you need it, give you that advice, kind of always trying to make sure that she puts you in the best position to be your the best version of yourself. So
Wow, that is nice. Everyone needs a mentor, no matter
yeah,
what you're doing, you
yes,
definitely
yes.
need a mentor. So what role do Black culture and representation play in your work, and how do you ensure authenticity in your stories?
um I mean, I love Black people. Like, we're great, right? Like, we're so
Yes.
different. We have so many different stories to tell. Like, we can be anything we want to be. Like, literally, the possibilities are endless. So, just taking that notion with that, Black love, that's always kind of that, you're going to find that in a story, even if it's not like the overarching point of the story, there's always going to be that element of love, Black love in the story. So.
Right, yes, Black love. We are here for it. The publishing industry is constantly evolving, especially for independent authors. What challenges have you personally faced, and how have you adapted over the years?
Probably just the emergence of just social media and book talk and bookstagram and all of these different things, wanting to be able to be on the right platforms to find the right audience. So while it's kind of like, ooh, new scary territory, like what is this? It's also been a way for me to find a bajillion new readers that, like, wow, like we're really out here, like Black girls really out here reading books, they're reviewing, like it's a really great community, it's a really great thing to see. But it is new and it's growing, so it's just like trying to make sure you're visible to the people who your audiences are.
Right, that makes sense. Your readers often say your book feels like movies. If you could choose one of your books to be adapted on the screen, which one would it be and why?
Oh man,
Right? Well, Angela Bassett plays one of your characters. Which one would it be?
I know. I think, okay, this is just off the top of my head, so the first one's coming to my head. I would probably say Professor Zaddy, just because I don't know, like I could very much see that being like just a very sexy thriller. Like you're gonna be on the edge of your seat. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
Okay, and your reason for that is just because you think that the audience would really be tuned in for this
Yeah.
movie.
I think the way that I wrote it, it was different than what I typically do. Like I did want it to be a thriller from the very first page. So I think just taking it off the page and seeing it come to life on screen would just like skyrocket like everything that was in my head. To see it
Okay,
come alive on screen would be like really great.
right, nice. Okay, music seems to be a key part of your process. Which playlist curated for each book? How does music influence the way you develop characters and storylines?
I think music always helps. Like sometimes I can, I'm building the playlist for the book, throughout the process. Sometimes I'm not building the playlist until after the book is already written. And then it's like, okay, I'm just sitting here listening to different types of music, R&B, hip hop, whatever is going to kind of feel most relevant to the story and the emotions that the characters are feeling. That's the type of music that I want to bring to that. But just overall, like if I'm just trying to get in the writing vibe or anything like that, it's definitely just lo-fi hip hop. You can just find it anywhere, Apple Music, YouTube. It's just very chill music that
And
helps you concentrate.
yeah, and with my role of Soulful Sounds, I push music. That's what we
Yeah.
do, and music is so important to how you feel that day. So I love
Exactly.
that. So many aspiring authors struggle with creative blocks. What are some effective strategies you use to reignite creativity when the words aren't flowing? So please, you guys, lean in, get your notepad so that you can take some of these suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. Like sometimes, honestly, like if I have an idea for a story, but it's just not flowing the way I want it to, or I don't feel like all the pieces work together how I initially thought they would, I have no problem these days just putting it down and
Right.
trying to work on something else. Like,
Okay.
and when it's ready, like you'll know the ideas will start to kind of come into place. It won't feel hard or forced. It's really just a feeling that you get. It's like, okay, maybe now is really not the time for this project. Let me focus on something else. And if that doesn't work and you're just like, oh, I just really want to finish this one thing, there's, always the option of just, taking a walk,
Okay.
watching a movie, listening to some music, reading a book, like something
Okay.
that's just kind of going to take you completely out of whatever you're stuck in, hopefully bring you some new perspective. And then when you're ready to go back to it, you kind of go to it with like a new like energy.
Okay. So basically, it's okay to take a break from
Yes.
what you're doing just to refocus.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Don't feel like you're failing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Rome was not built in a day.
Right.
I
Right. You have an impressive catalog of nearly over 70 books. Yay! How do you balance consistency in publishing with maintaining fresh, innovative storytelling?
I think it's got to go back to outlining. Like, I am blessed to like not really be at a shortage of ideas. Like, ideas just kind of come, and I'm just always got a little note section writing it down because, like, one day this is going to make sense and it's going to be able to
Right.
piece together and become something. But yeah, I'm never at a shortage of ideas. It's just that outlining and figuring out. I've learned over the last few years that I'm more of like a mood writer. So I may have a lot of outlines for different ideas, but I'm like, am I feeling like writing about that right now?
Okay.
Maybe I want to write
Okay.
about something else. And then I kind of, with those outlines already done, I've already kind of done the pre-work. So it's just
Um,
kind of figuring out what I'm in the mood to, get into next.
okay. All right. The book world is seeing an increase in censorship and bans. Boo. Particularly in marginalized storytelling. How do you navigate this and continue to push for representation in literature?
I mean, I think the only thing that we can keep doing is just keep writing and just keep telling our stories. I think that the people who are meant to find them and meant to read them will always find a way, whether, even if it's not being sold in libraries or bookstores, if you can, get to an event and get to these authors in person
Yeah.
and get the books that way, or, reach out directly or anything like that. Like, I think we don't need to stop telling our story. I think
Okay.
that is super important because if we're not telling them, then who else is going to tell
Okay. Yeah. All right. You guys heard that. Do not
them?
stop. Keep going. And I
Yes.
think that holds true for anything that we're doing, but definitely don't let this censorship ban stop you. So your book and busy course helps aspiring authors bring their stories to life. What inspired you to start mentoring, and what is the most rewarding part of guiding new writers?
So when I kind of came into the writing situation, I obviously, you don't know all the answers as like an independent author and you're new and you're just kind of looking all over for the best direction and guidance and things. So I started with the workbooks and whatnot. And because I was just like, oh, all this information that I'm getting, like, I don't want to like gatekeep. Like, if you want the information, like, I've already done the work. I figured it out. Let me now put it together in a way that's digestible for someone else and share that knowledge. So it's just basically creating the resources that I feel like I wish I would have had when I first came in. That's what I wanted to be able to kind of give back to people coming in after me.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
as an author who also teaches, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about self-publishing?
I think one of the big ones that I had initially, like when I first got into this, was that you absolutely needed a literary agent and you couldn't do anything without it. Like I didn't know anything about the world of self-publishing and Amazon and Kindle and all of that, that there are options that you can get the book out there yourself. So you can't even really use that as an excuse anymore, right? It's
Yeah.
just like there are options and avenues for you to be able to get the book out independently, and start to reach the audiences that you want to reach.
Okay, so it's easy, it's easier than it used to be, right? So that's
Yeah,
what you're saying. So they
I
just have to
definitely
do
think so.
research.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Okay. All right. All right, KL Hall. What can readers expect next? Are there any upcoming projects you're excited about? Let us know.
Um, Man, I don't know. So right now, the month of March, Be Love Publications is doing a motorcycle series group project. So I don't even know how many, I mean, at least 15 or more of us or so. So you're going to get a different motorcycle club story from, a
Okay.
different author throughout the month, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so that's like the big thing right now. And then, I mean, I've got some other stuff coming out,
Okay.
throughout the year. So, and then I will also be in Atlanta at the end of May, so the last weekend in May for the Black Romance Authors Book Fest.
Oh, oh, okay.
Okay.
Anyone, you guys, get ready, get ready. All right, you've already left a significant mark on the literary world. When you think about your legacy, how do you want to be remembered as a writer and a storyteller?
um, Definitely as a writer and a storyteller, just always the person who's going to take you on a wild, interesting ride. It's not,
Hmm.
I don't I don't feel like I write boring content. So I think I think that when you read a KL Hall book, you are definitely going to be thoroughly entertained. Sometimes I tell people before you turn the page, just buckle up, hold on to both
Yeah.
sides of that book because it might get a little crazy, but you will
Oh,
make it out alive at the end. So,
okay. All right. So this is what I need you to do. I
Okay.
need you to look straight into that camera. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And I want you to please share where people can find you. Tell us your social media handles. Tell
Okay.
us your website. And I also want you to tell us about this Atlanta trip so we can stay tuned and we can be there if we can.
Okay, so social media, you guys can find me at official KL Hall on Instagram, as well as author KL Hall on Instagram. You can find me on Threads under official KL Hall, TikTok, Books by KL Hall, Facebook, author KL Hall. Website is authorklhall.com. And then again, May 30th through June 1st, I will be in Atlanta at the Black Romance Authors Book Fest. So, very excited about that. If you can come through, please do. I would love to see you in person.
All right. Thank you so much. I love the consistency. So you guys will not forget that
Yeah.
author K.L. Hall across
Exactly.
everything. So
Yes.
simple.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here and
Thank
sharing
you.
your wisdom and
Thank
knowledge with
you.
us. We really appreciate your time.
No, it's been so great. Thank you all for having me.
Yes. All right. Good. Let me wait for him to come back.
Okay.
With a career spanning over a decade and nearly 70 books, K.L. Hall has built a literary empire that continues to captivate readers across genres. Her work not only tells powerful stories, but also champions Black literature and the importance of representation. Whether through the pulse pounding twist of her novels, the mentorship of aspiring writers, or her ambitions to see her work adapted for the screen, K.L. Hall is a storyteller dedicated to leaving a lasting impact. Readers can follow her journey or connect with her on social media for the latest updates on her upcoming projects.